Hello everyone, and welcome to the tutorial video for Worldgen Designer version 2. Following a lot of Steam comments, I've made a simplified UI mode, added a few new features, and I'm also making this video to help explain everything, so it should clear up some issues. So to begin, you're going to want to get to the mod, and you're going to do that by pressing New Game, any game mode, it doesn't matter, then opening the menu, which has new art by the way. Alright, so to begin, you have the planetoid name. First thing that's worth noting is that we're in simple UI mode. I forgot to mention that. There's advanced, which is what you knew before, and simple, which is what I'm going to explain to begin with. So to start, there's the name for the planetoid. Nothing new there. And the template is the same as it worked before. It applies all the biomes and sizing, and radiation and light levels, and meteor shower as well as its planetoid. I have Testland set as a template here, and the planetoid icon, which is the same as I did before as well. So the world type will affect the sizing of the magma biome, as well as the spawn biome. When you're mostly the spawn biome. In the older versions of the mod, it did affect the core, but that's more up to you now, so not really that anymore. But mostly the type of subworlds the spawn biome uses to affect its size. So moon is best for asteroids that are small. So there's the various starting biome types, and the planetoid preview as it was before. So we're going to begin by clicking generate to show you just a normal desert land, oil, granite, your spawn, the jungle, up at the top here. So then we're going to change the spawn biome to, let's say, series, and we're going to change the spawn size as well, so it should be around the same. We're going to click save and supply. We're going to generate the world again. As you can see, there's now a series spawn, like you would on a normal series asteroid. You can change it back. You can buy any one of these, as long as you have the DLCs for them. So then the sizing affects your width and height by, it's like a preset, but you can still change it individually as you would before. Spawn size is also changeable individually. Like we can make it, set it down to 1 if you didn't like the size before, for a much smaller biome. Look at how small it is now. Or you can even set it to 10 if for some reason you wanted it to be huge. I don't know why you'd want that, but you could. Let's put it back to like 4. There you go. So then the biomix is a set of biomes. I'm not gonna showcase any of that right now. That will allow you to build off of. Sort of like a template, but not based on an asteroid. So then this list is biomes that we currently have on the planetoid. You click the move button to change where you want it to spawn. In the advanced UI mode, there's the normal layering thing with the rings. But this is simpler and allows you to just click around where you want things to be. So let's do it with something noticeable. You notice the oil wells and the oil spars are currently near the deep. So let's move oil spars towards the surface. Let's click save plus apply and generate it again. Now we have oil at the top, as you can see, but if we move it back to the depths, it's no longer there. Alright, so then here's where you can search biomes to add in. Let's say we want let's say we want a forest. So we're going to search up forest. And let's go with this one. Alright, see it's in general. We don't want it in general because that means it's a fallback biome when it might not spawn. So we're going to have it spawn near spawn. And we're going to shrink the spawn biome down so it has less complications spawning. I'm going to click save plus apply and click generate. As you can see, there's a little bit of a forest right here now. And here. Alright, but let's get rid of that because we don't need it. Gone now. Alright. So, there's also the extras. So So we can turn on random traits. I don't have trait blacklisting in the simple mode. You'll have to go to advanced. This just turns on random traits. This controls if there's a teleporter. So right now there's no teleporter, but if we turn it on, then click regenerate, you'll see there's now a teleporter. So let's turn it off. So that this changes how many guys there are. You can have none, you can have a few, you can have a lot, and this changes if they spawn in the POI form. Like, you know, Steam Vent sometimes has that little pool of water in the jungle or in the marsh, and it's not burned. That's what this is. That's what this does. So then this is the space settings, like the sunlight. Right now it's just using the template stuff, but you could change it to settings the game allows you to include. These changes to lux levels, etc. So that's the basic mode planetoid menu. And here is the bio menu. I personally don't see much of a point for custom biomes, which is why I'm not going to be adding the ability to change what animals spawn in them as one user requested. Because I don't see much of a point in this menu to begin with, I just figured I'd give it there if you wanted. So the prompting menu works as you'd want it to. It does basic things based on what you type. So let's type in cold, oily biome with water, and have a build from that. See, look at detected these things, and in theory, it should apply them now. Well, let's make it a spaced out biome. Let's save it. Let's go here and type new biome. We're gonna add it in. Let's make it spawn at the depths, and let's remove the 2 oil biomes. It's not gonna spawn oil wells because I didn't add that in, but it should spawn. Alright, I guess I did something wrong there. I did a little bit of messing around with the settings, and you can see little oil pockets scattered around now. But I will do more work on that before I publish the main version of the mod. Nothing UI related will change, just workings. So this video will still be published as it is. So that's the biome menu. Not much to explain here. Clusters tab. I already have cluster 1 here. It has 8 rings, as you can see, and there's 3 planets. Your start is Marinia, and your warp. Well, we don't have a warp, but let's make it this one. And series will just be some random outer asteroid. So you can see it's 8 tiles wide by default. There's a size presets up here, and the naming. A normal cluster you'd find in game is, I believe, 12 tiles, but since we have it set to small here, it's 10. It was 8 before, it's 10 now. You can add planetoids here as you normally would. You can change, yeah. You can add them as normally would. You can change the amount of space objects there are, as you can see. So we can select none. It'll do a few artifacts, that's it. Light throws in some POIs. Normal throws in more POIs. And busy throws in even more POIs. We're gonna click save. And now I'm gonna finally show you an example of it. So I'm gonna turn on dev mode by typing play. And I'm gonna go into the menu. As you can see, here's our custom cluster, cluster 1. I'm going to turn on sandbox as well. We're going to generate it. Now, occasionally, sometimes unrelated to the mod, sometimes it's something you did, you'll get a Worldgen error. Try again. And if it still doesn't work, mess around with your planetoid and your cluster settings. I did add in some clues. The mod will throw up a better error than it used to help with that, but CGM I still recommend having because it still gives better errors. So as you can see, it's the normal Marinia asteroid. Our warp is relic as it should. We're gonna reveal it all. Now, because Relica is set to an outer asteroid, there's no printing pod here, but the research portal still is here. We spawn a duplicate, and you can notice that the Relica, the Dembalore asteroid, still is here, as you can see. there are also the achievements. So since there's series and the prehistoric planet and Marinia, you can get all of those respective achievements. So let's turn on that mode and let's go to series here. As you can see, after we spawn in a duplicate, there's the Geo Vent and Geo Pump for that imperative. And on this asteroid, there are the swimming dupes for that. So you can do an all achievement run, theoretically, should you want to. Alright, I'm going to go into the advanced UI now. Same process of getting there. Instead of simple, we're just going to click this button, and now it's advanced. So we're going to start with a new planetoid, new cluster. I'm going to build it up from the ground for now. So we're going to start. You can click random for some random concoction. This doesn't always work. Let's see if it works this time. So it does generate this time, but it's very boring, as you can see. It has a lot of volcanoes, few metal volcanoes, few cool steam vents, and some random geysers. That's what generic means. It's just going to be something random. So we could work off of this, but we're not going to because I don't like it. Let's do... let's work on... let's do Metallic Swampy. Well, let's change the icon to base game Badlands Asteroid. Let's name it to Modified Swamp. And let's change the ID to Modified Swamp as well. So click Save and Apply. So now that it's Metallic Swampy, it'll look like a Metallic Swampy asteroid. You see all the metal volcanoes everywhere, swamp biome here, metal stuff outside. Nothing new there. Once again, you'll notice a few more customization options and some stuff is moved around. Also added tooltips to help explain things. So sunlight, you can change as usual, like you could in the simplified mode. None of this is different. The width and height, now that's different. And the traits, that is what you can change. That is a new thing for the advanced menu. You can have a minimum of 2 and a max of 3. You can make that as small or large of a number as you want. And of course there's trait blacklisting at the bottom, we'll get to that. The asteroid and moon tags work the same as they did before, and auto arrange will simply help organize your layering if it's strange, or if you want to clear everything. You can click that button and it'll get rid of some things. But I don't really like that, and I think it's a mess, so we're not going to do that. We're going to open it back up. You can see all the stuff's back because I saved. And I didn't save when I did that, so there's that. Spawn size tuning works the same. And priority changes how things are overridden. Don't mess with that unless you're having problems with some biomes. You know, turning on. So spawn teleporter is going to put the teleporter near spawn. As you can see. I don't know why you don't want to do that. But yeah, here you go. This is more for if you're creating an asteroid that's intended to be a warp asteroid, like a teleporter for something else. And as always, if you want to send the normal POI, you have to place the teleporter into a layering. Let's put it in the depths. Let's click Save and Apply. Let's regenerate it. And you'll see it's right here. Now, the preview works by showing a seed, and because we have traits enabled, you can see frozen core here. But if we re-roll it, eventually, in theory, okay, I guess it just really likes frozen core. So that's it. Now we have a normal core. Finally, we rolled it enough. We have a normal core. So there you go. You can see that's deeper, kinda, as it should be. So, but we're gonna remove that for now. And we're gonna generate it again. And you'll see it's gone. So that's working as you should. So this is one of the main points of customization that the advanced menu has over the simplified menu that I personally prefer. So you'll notice there's no oil on Metallic Swamp. Have you ever played it before? No oil. But let's put some oil here. Type in oil. I'm going to put it down to where it normally is. And we're going to shrink the spawn biome to 3 to minimize conflict. Now we click regenerate. You can see some oil down here. And an oil well even. Look at that, beautiful, that's what we wanted. Perfect. So then we got the magma as usual, and now here's another point of customization that you couldn't have in the simplified mode. You can control what geysers there are, whether or not they're random, or from a selection, or guaranteed. So we're gonna add a guaranteed aluminum volcano. We're gonna save that just to check. There are currently none, but if we regenerate it, there now is one right here. So that's nice. Here is the ruling to select from. This is your random pools and stuff that you can add up here, as I said before. You can change it, the amount of it, and if you want duplicates, we have them off currently because we're using the template settings. And if you have a geyser like a saltwater geyser, or a cool slush vent, or a cool steam vent, and you happen to have the tundra biome, or the jungle, or marsh biome, whatever, or the ocean biome, the geyser will show up as an option here, and if you check it off, it'll show up as a POI rather than buried. I do like that for customization, and of course, trait blacklisting. If you don't want a trait present in your asteroid, click it, and it will no longer be available. Okay, now the biomes menu, you'll notice I had an issue with it on simplified. It's a lot more complex here, and it should actually work. So let's name this frozen oil. Let's give it the ID frozen oil. Description. Let's just call it frozen oil. Like frozen oil. You know, that's the thing we're going with. Cold oil. Let's put that in the prompt. Frozen oil tiles. Okay. So that should do something. Let's find a template. Actually, let's not do a template. Let's not do a template. Templates work as you think they would. They change the zone types, the temperature, the noise. If you ever pause the game and you hear that screeching or whatever, that's what the noise is. Sampling, don't mess with that. And density max, change your tiles, how much they spawn. Biome cleanness changes if it's like clunky or not. And the stock block sets are like what blocks are going to spawn in. And of course, since you want more customization, you can make your own block sets. You name it anything you want here, and you change the tile type and the amount of it. You can also click here, there's a selection here for anyone who wants to do that. You scroll down even more, you can find various features, like if you want a lake, or a pile of oxylite, or any of those things that you see. Maybe it's a spiral oxylite you see in the jungle, that's what you'd find here, or oil wells, you'd find them too. I'm not gonna showcase any custom biomes, but that is a brief rundown of the menu. And of course, the cluster menu has some more customization in it as well. But before we do that, let's make the new planetoid. We're gonna build this one from the ground up. We're not gonna use a template. Well, we're gonna use a template to get the sizing and some basic traits. We're gonna leave it with the default name, but we're gonna X out all the biomes. We don't want any of them. We're gonna get rid of them and build it up. We're gonna leave space, but we're gonna build it up from the ground. Alright, you see? It's probably going to throw out a generation error, like I thought, because there's nothing here. There's not even a spawn biome. Let's start it off with a forest spawn, so you can see that applied. Let's chill. And let's put a desert around it with some tundra. So that's going to be there. And in the middle layer, let's put in hot marsh, as well as this. I honestly don't know what that is. I've never seen it before. Let's put that in there anyway. And let's put frozen uranium and radioactive at the core. I think that's here. Let's put a small magma small. We're gonna put that here so I can put it. We're gonna put it at the core ultimately. And then for the surface, let's just search at various surfaces. Let's go with the ocean surface. Okay. Now, let's generate it and see what happens. Alright, spawn. Too big. I don't like that. Let's shrink that down. Okay. That's better. You see the ocean at the surface, uranium here. Our desert spawned a little bit here, and our tundra also here a little bit. But let's shrink spawn down just a little bit more. There we go. That's a little better. I ended up just making uranium larger, actually. Let's spawn this larger. So that's what we got right now. There's no geysers or anything because we didn't add that in. But we're gonna get to that. So let's throw in the polluted water vent. Let's put that in. Let's make that guaranteed. We want that. Let's make it guaranteed. Let's also put in. Let's check that off. Check that off. We're gonna put in a bunch of random volcanoes. So an aluminum volcano. Add to there. Then we're gonna add to this pool. Gold volcano. There we go. And we're gonna add a minor volcano. And let's have it pick 2 of them. No duplicates, right? So we'll get a random 2. Let's see what happens. So now we have the aluminum, the salt water up here in the surface because I clicked the POI. The gold volcano will be buried, and that will be buried as well. And let's turn off trades. I don't want trades, so let's turn them off here. Oh, they were already off. Okay, we'll leave it like that then. Okay. Let's save and apply this, and now let's make a new cluster. So we have the modified swap. Let's make it 12 rings to default. Let's make it show up early in the menu. Let's put it in the special menu. Well, actually, no, let's put it in spaced out menu because it's a larger star asteroid. We'll put that in. Let's set that to the start, and let's set to the warp. Now, because this is going to be the star planetoid, we should probably add in the teleporters. Let's put those in the middle ring. That should be a good spot for them. Let's make sure they generate. Okay, they didn't. That's why we do testing. Let's put them down here. There you go. There we go. See? Sometimes things conflict and they don't generate. That's why I added the preview so you can mess around with things here. So these are both going to be fighting for the same ring. And I don't know about you, but I see an issue with that in the future. So let's not have that. Alright, let's throw in a few extra asteroids. Let's go with Desolands. The Meridia Fragment. Regolith. Superconductive should be down here. Let's go with all these. So we're gonna change where we run in the spawns. These are all spawning kind of far away, so let's make this spawn within the 5th layer. You can see it moved. Well, no, we don't want that. Alright. Let's make this spawn 2. And it has a nice buffer there. So now it's kind of far away. As you can see, it spawned 5 away, but we don't really want that, so let's make it spawn closer. There we go, we forced it to spawn closer. The Meridia Fragment is really far away. Let's make that spawn much closer. There we go. Regolith, let's keep that far away. And this one, let's make it really far away. So here's a nice preview. We got the Regolith far away, we have the POIs. Now another thing you'll notice, once we're in the advanced menu, is that one, you can change all this, the min rings and max rings, and the buffers, you can change that. And there's a lot more customization regarding POIs. So right now we have a default mineable selection, just in case you don't want to mess around with that, because I know it's annoying. So we're going to leave that now. You can see there's only a few artifacts, and the temporal tear, because that's required. You can't get rid of that. We're going to add a new object pool. We're going to make it spawn minimum of 5, and we're going to keep these like kind of close to us. Make it 3. We're going to keep them kind of close. So duplicates will allow it to spawn multiple of an as a field that you select, and clumping will make sure they don't spawn right next to each other. But we're going to leave that off, and we're going to leave duplicates. Let's turn that off. So let's put a chlorine cloud, oxygen-rich asteroid field, and metallic asteroid field. So there, in theory, 2 of these should spawn. There we go. Perfect. No, 3 of them. That makes sense. We saw 3 up there. So now we're gonna. That's good. Well, let's add a new object pool. Let's name it Mineable 2 Pool 2. Oh, let's see. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Name it 3. Whatever. We're gonna let these spawn wherever we want, and we're just gonna click a bunch of random ones. Because why not? And let's have it spawn 10 of them. And avoid clumping. Now let's see what the storm looks like. A lot more clutter. A lot more clutter. That's good. Now I personally have my doubts about this cluster. I don't think it's going to generate because of what we're doing here, but let's find out. It should. If I did my job, it should. Oh, that's right. We put it in the middle of my bag. It's in here. Alright, here it is. Let's see how it goes. 2 custom planetoids. Totally custom cluster. I had a lot of bug reports regarding this. I did a lot of bug fixes over the last few days. And as you can see, everything I've showed you has worked so far. So if you remember our preview, this looks a lot like our preview. We have this up here, and we have our desert biomes here. We have our forest here, we have our tundra here, we have our radioactive, we have our teleporters. So in our teleporter, takes us to... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we actually said where it's supposed to take us to in the cluster. Let's find out. Hold up. Well, it's certainly not taking us here. Or here. Okay. We definitely didn't set a warp planetoid. So let's go redo that. Oh, we did. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. My memory's not the greatest. And I don't want to redo this video. So, you get what you get. Oh. Okay. Yeah, okay, here's our warp planetoid. So the icon's messed up for some reason. That's interesting. We'll have to look into that. But, as you can see, there's the teleporters and stuff, as it should. And here's our cluster. And as you can see, there's those asteroid fields we set out here. And all the planetoids we set are here, and the ranges we set for them. Desolands. This one. This one. And all the other ones. But that's all good to go, pretty much. So there's your tutorial video of Worldgen Designer. If you have any bug reports, please message me or leave a comment in the Steam description. There's a few bugs in this video, but this took me forever to record, so I will not be making a new one. But as you can see, there was a light issue with the icons, as well Actually, was it really an issue? No, it wasn't. I mean, that icon is wrong, but it's okay. So there's a light issue with the icons. It is what it is. We'll fix that up before I publish the full version. But other than that, the mod is basically good to go. Thank you for tuning in.